Very good morning to class 11th. So after finishing with non-cyclic and cyclic photophosphorylation, now we are going to discuss another mechanism, that is about the how the products or where the products of ADP and NADPH2 they are going to use. So we are going to use them in our dark reaction. So dark reaction has another name, it is known as biosynthetic phase also. But the question which comes in mind sometimes, that is, where are these ATP and NADPH2 used, which are the products of our light reaction. So products of our light reaction, they are oxygen, there are ATP as well as NADPH2. Out of these, oxygen diffuses out of the chloroplast, and ATP and NADPH2 they are used for synthesis of food. What is food in case of plant? Sugars. So ATP and NADPH2 we use them for the synthesis of sugars in case of plant. So that reaction or that cycle where we are using ATP and NADPH2 for the formation of glucose is known as biosynthetic phase. Biosynthetic phase does not directly depend on presence of light. It dependent on products of light reaction. And what are products of light reaction? ATP and NADPH2. If we talk about the location, see, non-cyclic and cyclic photophosphorylation, they occurs in thylakoid membrane as well as in the stromal lamella. But what about the location of dark reaction? It occurs in the stroma of chloroplast. And in this phase or in this cycle, most of the time many enzymes are involved. That is why it is called enzymatic reaction. What is the result? The sugar is going to synthesize. What is the sugar? That is a carbohydrate. And which sugar we are going to synthesize? That is glucose. Calling the biosynthetic phase, it is as a dark reaction. Is it a misnomer? Is it a misleading? Yes. Calling the biosynthetic phase as dark reaction, it is a misnomer. Why? Because it does not depend directly on the light, but it depends on the products of light reaction. Products of light reaction like ATP and NADPH2. In the absence of light, it is observed that sometimes light reaction does not takes place. It means no ATP and no NADPH2 formation. If no ATP and no NADPH2 will be formed, after some time biosynthetic phase will also stop. So it shows that it is indirectly dependent on light, but it requires the products of light reaction to proceed. So using the term dark reaction is yes to describe biosynthetic phases misleading to us, that it is not at all need light, but ultimately it has been seen that it depends on the products of light reaction. So how ATP and NADPH2 use? This whole procedure that was explained, or cycle that was explained by Melvin Kelvin, he used radioactive carbon in the algal photosynthesis in the presence of light then he killed few of these alga. He take out few alga and killed few alga with the help of methanol, and then he studied their first compound. He found that first carbon dioxide fixation product, the first product which is helping in the fixation of carbon dioxide, it was a 3 carbon organic acid, means it was a 3 carbon compound which is 3 phosphoglyceric acid. It is 3 PGA, 3 phosphoglyceric acid was the first organic acid which help in fixation of carbon dioxide. Later on, scientists discovered another group of plant. This was observed in algal. Then a scientist observed another group of plants in which first stable product was again organic acid, but it was 4 carbon organic acid, and it is known as oxaloacetic acid. So as you can see that few plants, they are having the first they were having 3 carbon organic acid as the first product, and others they were having 4 carbon as the product, that is the oxaloacetic acid. So carbon dioxide assimilation, or you can say carbon dioxide is getting fixed. That is because if it is getting fixed only, then we are going to form the sugar. So it is during the photosynthesis, carbon dioxide fixation is of two types. Those plants in which the first product of CO2 fixation is C3 acid, means 3-PGA, 3-phosphoglyceric acid, they go under 3C3 pathway, means they follow C3 cycle. And the primary acceptor of CO2 here is 5 carbon compound, that is known as RUBP. RUBP is ribulose biphosphate. It is a keto sugar, and there are those second category, those plants in which first product was C4 acid, that is the oxaloacetic acid. First product, first stable product which was formed here, that was the C4, oxaloacetic acid. So these plants, they go follow C4 pathway, so they go under C4 cycle. The primary acceptor of CO2 here is a 3 again. Here is the primary acceptor is the 3 carbon compound, and in C3 cycle primary acceptor was 5 carbon compound. 3 carbon compound is PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate. So that is the difference between C3 and C4 also. Now if we first look at the diagrammatic part of Calvin cycle. Calvin cycle always completes in 3 stages. What are those 3 stages? Carboxylation, reduction, as well as regeneration. Regeneration of ribulose biphosphate, right? RUBP, ribulose biphosphate. So carboxylation, reduction, regeneration. Carboxylation means that is the fixation of carbon dioxide. Then reduction means with the help using the NADPH2, and regeneration is formation of RUBP again. So first is, we said that primary acceptor of CO2 in C3 cycle is a 5 carbon compound, which is RUBP, ribulose biphosphate. So here as you can see, RUBP is going to fix carbon dioxide and forming 3-PGA. What is the first product? First stable product, 3-PGA, that is phosphoglycerate. Now the question is, as we have to track the number of carbon as well as the number of molecule. So listen to me very carefully. Here in your NCERT books, they in their cycle they are using 1 carbon, but here for understanding our understanding purposes, I am using 3 carbon, right? So here you can see that 3 carbon dioxide, they are getting fixed. So for fixing 3 carbon dioxide, we are going to use 3 RUBP, 3 molecules of RUBP. Now RUBP is a 5 carbon compound, but we are using 3 molecules. So total number of carbon will be 15 carbon. Here CO2, that is we are using 3 molecules of CO2. So we will have 3 carbon with us. Now what is we are going to form first stable compound, that is phosphoglycerate, means 3-PGA. It means the phosphate is at the third carbon. So that is why we always write 3-PGA. Now this is a 3 carbon compound, okay? So but we are using now, see, 3 CO2 3 RUBP. So total number of molecules which of 3 PGA which are going to be formed is 6. So how many? It is a 3 carbon. So 6 threes are 18. So total number of carbon will be there in the 18 carbon. Now we are going to use energy 1 phosphate. So as you can see that 6 ATP, it was a phosphoglycerate. So we are going to use ATP and it will convert into ADP because we need 1 phosphate, because we are using 6. So that is why 6 ATP, so 6 ADP to convert these 6 phosphoglycerate into 1,3-diphosphoglycerate. There was only 1 phosphate. Now we have 1,3-diphosphoglycerate. These are the 6 molecules. 6 molecules again of 1,3-diphosphoglycerate. Again it is a 3 carbon compound, 6 molecules, so total number of carbon will be 18 carbon. Now it will undergo reduction. Reduction means we are going to use NADPH2. How many molecules are there? 6. So we need 6 NADPH2. They will convert into NADP plus inorganic phosphate, 6 inorganic phosphate. So now they undergo reduction. So what is formed? Phosphoglyceraldehyde. So there is the formation of 6 molecules of phosphoglyceraldehyde. Now what the purpose of using 3 carbon is that we are going to having easy number of, we can easily track the number of molecules as well as carbon. So out of these 6 phosphoglyceraldehyde, one molecule will get separate. One molecule of PGAL is going to separate out for the formation of glucose, and here 5 molecules of PGAL will enter into cycle. So again I am repeating that 6 molecules of PGAL will be formed after reduction. 1 molecule of PGAL will be separated out. PGAL is a 3 carbon compound, and 5 they will go further in the cycle. So 5 and 3 carbon, it is a compound, so 5 threes are 15. So total number of carbon we have is a 15. Now out of 5 these 5 molecule of PGL, 2 inorganic phosphate we are going to use, 2 inorganic phosphate, as well as there is a formation of ribulose 5 phosphate, right? Ribulose 5 phosphate. Now see, this ribulose 5 phosphate is a 5 carbon compound. So we are going to use here 3 molecules of ribulose 5 phosphate actually, and 2 inorganic phosphate. There is a total number of carbon will be 15 carbon. So next step will be regeneration. Now just look at this thing carefully. Regeneration means we are going to use now one phosphate. So 3 ATP they are going to convert into now, because this is a 3 molecules. So we need 3 ATP to convert into 3 ADP, and we are going to get 3 molecules of RUBP, and because we are using 1 phosphate, we are getting ribulose biphosphate, right? We are getting ribulose biphosphate. It is a 5 carbon compound. So 3 molecules of RUBP, they are formed from 3 molecules of ribulose 5 phosphate. So as you can see that this is a phosphate glyceraldehyde. So 5 molecules of phosphoglyceraldehyde. Out of these, 2, this is a 3 carbon compound, right? So out of this we have now taken out 2 inorganic phosphate, right? So how many they are left? That is only 3 molecule of ribulose 5 phosphate will be formed there. So 3 plus 2, it was total number was 5. Now, the first step is carboxylation. What is happening? As you know, that diagrammatic view is clear to you now. That that we are going to fix the carbon dioxide. How? Fixation of CO2 into a stable organic compound. What is the stable organic compound? 3-PGA. So CO2 combines with, I have taken here that is a 5 carbon. So 5 carbon compound ribulose 1,5 biphosphate. So which stable product it will form? 3-PGA. 3-phosphoglycerate, or it is known as phosphoglyceric acid. Here in this reaction, one enzyme is used that is called RUBP carboxylase, means ribulose biphosphate carboxylase. So here we are using, what we are using, that is ribulose biphosphate carboxylase. This enzyme has oxygenation activity also. Here is the carboxylase function is the fixation of carbon dioxide, but it play role in the oxygenation also. So it is known as RUBP carboxylase oxygenase. The complete name of this enzyme is RUBP carboxylase oxygenase, but because here it is only helping in the carbon dioxide fixation, so RUBP carboxylase. Next one is the, now this enzyme I already told you oxygenation activity, so it is known as Rubisco. That is RUBP carboxylase oxygenase. RUB Rubisco carboxylase oxygenase. Reduction. Now what we are using? See, for if you going through the NCERT, so only for one carbon dioxide fixation, only for fixation of one CO2 molecule, two molecules of ATP they are needed in this step. As you need, as you can see that one in this step and one in this step, so only two molecules of ATP they are needed, and two molecules of NADPH2 they are needed for reduction of CO2. But we are using here three carbon dioxide molecules. So for three carbon dioxide molecules, we are using, as you can see, 6 molecules of ATP as well as 6 molecules of NADPH2. For one molecule for one molecule of CO2, as you can see, one molecule of CO2, only two molecule of your ATP. But for 3 CO2, 6 molecules of ATP they are used, as well as 6 molecules of NADPH2 for the reduction. 6 molecules of NADPH2 for the reduction is used. So for synthesis of one molecule of glucose, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide as well as 6 tons of Kelvin cycle are required. If you need one molecule of glucose, then you need to fix 6 molecules of CO2 as well as 6 tons of Kelvin cycle. So what is happening to continue the cycle? CO2 acceptor molecule RUBP is generated again, and in this step ATP is required. So what comes in and what comes out? Let's count now. So for, as you can see, for synthesis of one molecule of glucose, how many carbon dioxide you are required? As you can see, 6 carbon dioxide you are required. 6 carbon dioxide means you need how many ATP? So here you can see that you need 18 ATP. How much ATP? As you know that for one CO2, 2 molecules of ATP they are needed. So now, but here we are going to use, I'm really sorry, okay, so for here you know that we are going to fix 6 CO2. So here we need 12 ATP here plus as well as 6 ATP here, because with 12 ATP we are using here and 6 ATP we are going to use. So total number of ATP we are using here is, how much ATP we are using here? That is total number is 18. अगर इसी को 6 को देखें हम, that how much we need, see for now you can see for 3 carbon dioxide how many ATP we are using? 6 plus 8, right? 6 plus 9, 6 7 8 9, right? Total number of ATP, how many ATP we are using to fix 3 molecule of carbon dioxide? That is 9 ATP. But what is our purpose? We have to fix 6 carbon dioxide. So iska double kar do, that will be now 18 ATP. That is why we in our cycle we use 3 carbon dioxide, so that you can easily track the number of ATP. Now if we have to count the NADPH2. So now for 3 molecules of carbon dioxide, how many NADPH2 are used? NADPH2, 6 NADPH2. अगर मुझे 6 कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड मॉलिक्यूल फिक्स करना है, इसका डबल कर दो, that will be now 12 NADPH2. So let's see that what is coming in and what is going out. So as you can see, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide we need to fix and 1 molecule of glucose is going to synthesize. ATP, 18 ATP we are going to use, so you can always do 9 plus 9. 9 we used in our during 3 carbon dioxide and 9 we have to do with the 6. So 9 plus 9. 18 ATP we are using, and what is forming? 18 ADP plus 18 inorganic phosphate. How many NADPH2 we are using? In 3 carbon dioxide fixation we were using 6 NADPH2. तो अगर डबल करेंगे 6 molecules बनाने होंगे तो इसका डबल कर दो, 6 का डबल 12. So 12 NADPH2 we are using and 12 NADP positive is going to form. So this is all about our Kelvin cycle. So again I will say that please go through this cycle very carefully. The first stable compound is here is 3-PGA, and you need to always remember that the first compound which is going to fix the carbon dioxide fixation is the 5 carbon compound, that is RUBP. So this is about our C3 cycle. Next in our next lecture we are going to start with the our C4 pathway. So I will meet you with another